place needs no introduction. It is like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, where soma is dispensed and everyone is happy. There's no waiting for medical treatment. No queues for medication. Everyone is free to come and go as they please. There's very little wrong with this sort of society. It's small wonder then that the boat people wish to cross the English Channel in dinghies and come and live amongst us as fellows of our race that we share this planet with, a race called Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens have been knocking around on the planet for, let's say, 100,000 years, give or take, say, 50 to 100,000 years. 10,000 years we were coming out of the last ice age. We could still cross from the south coast of England into France on foot, as has been the case throughout millions of years of Earth's history. And of course, Earth is 4.5 billion years old. So if you can think of a house, one house worth 4.5 billion, you might struggle. But if you think of a house that can be bought for 4.5 million pounds, then yes, indeed, you'd be on the right path to working out these big numbers. This place where you can see the rich drive, usually Asians, but not always, these amazingly expensive cars. A lot of these cars here, I'd say, would be Asian-based cars, like I've said before, and I'll say again. However, in a good proportion of the cases, of course, they're not. In fact, most of them aren't, but the most ostentatious cars, of course, pop and bam maps aside of the smaller cars, you'll find that these bigger show-off cars are driven by Asians. And of course, Asians interbred with Neanderthals, as did the Homo sapiens, who migrated up to Europe, Northern Europe. Well, of course, the Chinese went interbreeding more with the Homo erectus types. So we do find ourselves having some kind of racial differences. However, we are of the same race. Because we murdered or let die, let's say, the other human races. Homo erectus, aka Boxgrove man, found about 500,000 years ago in the south of England. Dead, extinct. Never will be seen again. Maybe in some remote forest there's still a Homo erectus, but the odds are very, very slight, aren't they? The fact of the matter is, at the top of the tree, Homo sapiens, various stories are sort of living alongside each other, and sort of just being alongside each other. And
So why did you do that? Somebody who likes you will enjoy it.
they have different stories, and some of them believe in Allah, some
Yeah.
of them believe in nothing, some of them believe
Yeah.
in a vague sense of Christian liberalism, and others might be Buddhist, and all kinds of different stuff. But I see the main friction point is Jewish versus Islam. But there's also a thread of this nationalism, vying for power, world dominance, allies with other nations as the US starts to drop its world influence due to the service-led high-tech industries of China. So that's all starting to reduce, and US's power. You've got ecological kind of sort of, I wouldn't say destruction, but kind of ecological type fallout, increased weather events. I mean, we have actually sort of averted the hole in the ozone layer. That's been averted largely thanks to cooperation. However, other things have not been averted so much, have they? So can we still cooperate with one another? US at the centre, NATO around it, UN around that. Courts of human justice.
When I was 6 months in.
And to what extent is Europe still functioning? With the US as its centre, what Harry Truman said, erstwhile US president in 1945, the thought was to end all wars by cooperation. Go to any British town, you see this town is twinned with X from France or X from Germany. It's all well and good. But how do we unify the languages? Is it going to be through English, Spanish, Chinese? And what about the religions with their set texts? And to a certain extent, the brainwashing of children with seemingly benign fairy tales about winged horses or Santa Claus or Passover. How are we going to do this? If we really evolved from apes and we have no soul, as most of us in the UK believe, how are we going to get on? Or if we evolved from apes and we do have a soul, like the Catholic Church believes, how are we going to get on? If we believe that Allah is merciful and loving, how are we going to get on? If we believe in suffering and in karma And wanting something really bad can make you suffer. Like Buddhists might believe. How are we going to get on? How are we going to combat consumerism? Can we really close our borders? Can anyone answer this? If we inputted the parameters into a program that had AI, as its intelligence, would we like the answers that it comes out with? Would it give us tough answers? I don't think it would give us nationalistic answers. If we talked about the future, the whole of Homo sapiens. So is then the solution, in fact, to nationalize the inputs into an AI program? Subscribe to find out, and I'll speak more on this subject. Drop a like to encourage me, and I'll certainly get back to this. JC out.